we're still in the realm of basketball, and the WNBA starts on Friday. And with the what I wanted to do is I wanted to rank my top 10 teams going into the season. This season has a lot of intrigue to it, man. This is of course the season after coronavirus. Well, let me say it's still there. It's still there. Go get vaccinated if you haven't. But this is the season after the bubble. Of course, you have young players after the draft that we always want to see how they do. It's exciting. This is an exciting time. The WNBA, they got the new jerseys. They got the new logo. This players that opted out last year should be coming back. This is exciting time for women's basketball. And what I want to do, like I said, was I'm going to rank my top 10 teams going into the season because the season starts on Friday. And I'll go with number 5. I have the New York Liberty. Now, first, before I keep going, shouts out to Asia Duran, Asia Duran, yeah. Of course, she's the young player. I think she was drafted like second to the New York Liberty, and I think to this day she's still dealing with. She had COVID, and she's still dealing with symptoms. Man, we never know how COVID hits people, and she got hit hard, and she's still getting hit. So I definitely want to say shout out to her, and I hope that she has a speedy recovery, and I hope that she's able to get back to the game of basketball because I think she was saying she doesn't know she'll ever be able to get back, which it sucks because she's one of the better young players, and she definitely had a promising career in the WNBA and overseas, whatever she wanted to do. So I definitely hope for her speedy recovery, Asia Durr. She's definitely one of those. She was definitely one of those players that was next up. So I hope the best for her. But like I said, the New York Liberty, I'm gonna put at number 10 because they just acquired Natasha Howard, and we know wherever Natasha Howard goes, she pretty much brings winning. She was with Seattle, they won, and of course you have Sabrina Descu. Now her season ended last year due to injury, but I think that I think they have the talent and they have the resources to win. Do I think that they could win? I don't know. Now they did lose Kia Nurse and Walker, but and I think losing Willa Beggy to an ACL, I think that's definitely gonna hurt. But you have Natasha Howard and you have Sabrina Descu. I think that kind of puts you over. No, what am I saying? You have. What am I saying? You have Natasha Howard, and I think that can definitely win you some games as well as Sabrina. So that's why I have the number 10. Number 9, I have the Atlanta Dream. Now I have them at number 9 because I want to see how they adjust to losing Nikki Collin, who was the coach. She was 2018 Coach of the Year, and Atlanta Dream is a young team, and of course with younger teams, you want to, where does the leadership come from, and losing a coach that good, you want to see how they bounce back. Now, of course, you have Shade Carter. She's one of the best. She had she averaged like 17 points last year. This is a young team, but this team is really good. And again, I don't know if they are ready or able to win it. I don't know if they're that good yet, but I do think that I think that they're good enough to actually make some noise and maybe even make it to the playoff. You have Benchane Laney. You have you have Elizabeth Williams. They have good players. It's just I want to see where the leadership comes from. Can Carter be the leader? Can Laney be the leader? I don't know, but definitely want to see. And I definitely have the Atlanta Dream at number 9. At number 8, I have the Connecticut Sun. And honestly, I have the Connecticut Sun because even though they lose Elisa Thompson to Achilles, I do. You still have DeWanna Bonner. You still have Jaquel Jones, who can arguably top 10 players in the league, and it's still a running gun team that can't. I mean, Jaquel. I was remember. I don't know. All right. So when the Connecticut Sun was playing the Washington Mystics in the WNBA Finals, and I think in 2019, I was saying that Jaquel Jones kind of reminds me of a bigger KD. Now, no, she can't put the ball on the ground. She's not banging somebody, but she can. She was hitting fadeaway threes. She was hitting fadeaway jump shots, and of course, a lot of people forget about that because she opted out last year. Opted out the bubble and everything. But getting DeWanna Bonner back, or getting Jaquel Jones back alongside DeWanna Bonner, I think that while I don't think that they can win it all, I do think that those are two top 10 players in the league. So I have Connecticut Sun at number 8. At number 7, whoa. At number 7, I have Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota Lynx. I mean, you get Sylvia Fowles back. Of course, you have you have 2 Rookie of the Years in Fiza Collar and Crystal Dangerfield. Of course, you add Kayla McBride. You have Area Powers that used to play for the Washington Mystics, and you have Natalie Achwan. Like this team is good enough, honestly. Of course, we need to see what happens when you bring back Sylvia Fowles, who didn't play. I think she opted out last year. That's a big piece. She is a centerpiece of a team. So, you have that. You have all these players. We'll see. And of course, you have Bridget Carlton. This team, honestly, I think that this could be a sleeper team. The Minnesota, even though I have them at number 7, this could be a sleeper team because you have 2 Rookie of the Years, and you have Sylvia Fowles. You have all those players. Getting Kayla McBride was huge, as well as Aerial Powers. Though that was huge, and I want to see how they're able to integrate all those new players with Sylvia Fowles. So that's why I have Minnesota Lynx at number 7. Number 6, I have LA Sparks. Now the LA Sparks kind of dealt with some craziness over the offseason. I mean, with Gabby Williams, who the team announced that she was suspended for the whole year, and then they traded her to the Chicago Sky. And Gabby Williams is a really good young player, but I don't know how that's gonna go. Not to mention you lose Candace Parker, who was a staple for the team, but I mean you still have the Nabumike sisters. And not only do you lose Candace Parker, you lose Chelsea Gray and Craya Williams. But you still have Nneka Abumike, you still have Shanae Abumike, Tia Cooper. Like you have some good players. And you get Chrissy Tulliver, who used to play for Washington. She's there. Amanda Zui. You have some players. I just don't know. I think that you're gonna go as far as Nneka Abumike, where she takes you. Outside of her and Shanae, it's pretty much, and Chrissy Tulliver, it's pretty much a younger team. But again, you're gonna go as far as Nabumike, who is a top 5, top 10 player in the league. You're gonna go as far as she takes you. So that's why I have LA Sparks at number 6. Not to mention losing Gabby Williams, losing Candace Parker, losing Chelsea Gray. That definitely was huge, and see how far they can take it. So at number 5, I have the Phoenix Mercury. It's really Diana Taurasi, Skylar Diggins, and Brittany Griner. That's pretty. However far they take you, however far you're going. You have one of the best big men. You have one of the best guards in the league in Skylar, and of course Diana Taurasi, who is a staple for the WNBA. However far they take you is however far you're going. Not to mention you add Kia Nurse, who was a great young player for the Liberty. and you add Megan Walker, like it's. I think that this team on paper, of course, is definitely good enough to win it. It's just, will they put it together, and are the others? We talk about star players, and you need good others, I guess, to win. So are the others, will Kia Nurse and Megan Walker be able to integrate themselves? A game that Skylar Diggins and Diana Taurasi isn't doing well. Can Brittany Griner pick up the pieces? If Brittany Griner and Diana's not doing well, can Skylar, like, it's just they need to play with each other and a little bit more to see how they can grow. And because, again, on paper, Phoenix has 3 top 15 players in the league, and so we'll see how it goes. And that's why I have the number 5. Number 4, I have the Chicago Sky. The Chicago Sky getting Candace Parker, to me, was huge. They, I, not now. Candace Parker is not, of course, in her prime. We know this, but you pairing her with the Diamond DeShields, you pairing her with the Aja Stevens. A lot of people think that Candace Parker could be the piece to put the Chicago Sky over the top. Um, I I of course, what's going to happen with Courtney Vandersloot and Allie Quanley? I just a lot of people think Diamond DeShield. She's one of the better young players. I think she averaged like 16 points last year. It's just I think that they're good enough. I don't know. Let me say that I have them at number 4 because they're still a really good team without Candace Parker. It's just a lot of people are wondering, is Candace Parker that missing piece? Now, no, Candace Parker's not in her prime anymore, but she still will go down as one of the greatest women's basketball players ever, and she still has a lot left in the tank, even with her departure from the Sparks. So, I I think I want to wait and see. Is she that missing piece? I don't know if they're good enough to win a championship, but a lot of people are thinking that she could be that missing piece to get them over the top to a championship. So that's why I have the Chicago Sky at number 4. Number 3, I have the Washington Mystics. Now, a lot of people forget about the Washington Mystics because of what happened last year. And the Mystics dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of opt-outs. But this year, we get Elena Deladon, who's arguably top 3, top 2 player in the league. We get Tina Charles. A lot of people forget how good Tina Charles is because she's dealt with injuries over the years. But we get Tina Charles back. Of course, we got to know what's going to happen with Emma Mieseman and losing Powers definitely hurts. It's no, but we have Maisha Haynes Allen. She had a really good year. I think she averaged 17 points last year, and her being alongside a Tina Charles and a Elena Deladon, we definitely we have 2 top 10 players. And one of the players is Elena Deladon, who is arguably top 3 player in the league, top 2. So I think we will definitely, a lot of people forget how good Tina Charles is, and a lot of people forget how good Washington can be. And when you pair Elena Deladon, who doesn't really need to dominate the ball, as well as Tina Charles, who don't need to dominate the ball, that to me could be an NBA. That could be at least a deep run in the playoffs, seeing as though you have those 2 great players and you have a lot of good young players around them. So I have Washington Mystics number 3. Number 2, I have I have Las Vegas Aces. They lost in the WNBA championship last year, but you're getting back Liz Cambage, you're getting back Kelsey Plum. Of course, you have Aja Wilson, who was the WNBA Woman of the Year. She was the MVP of the WNBA. I think that now getting Angel McCoughtry, I think, out for the season with a ACL and a scrimmage, man, that definitely sucks. But You have a perennial six man of the year and the Kira Hamby. It's like this team is stacked. This team, there's only one reason why I don't have the number one is that's because they didn't win it last year. But they were hella well. They lost in the WNBA finals, but you're bringing back key pieces. You're bringing back, like I said, Liz Cambage. A lot of people think she could be one of the best centers in the league. Kelsey Plum is a really good young star. Of course, Darica Hamby, who is a reigning, she's a six-man of the year, multiple-time winner, alongside the WNBA MVP in Asia Wilson. Now, again, losing McCulture was big, and I hope that she's able to bounce back, especially at the age she's at in her career. But I think this team is good enough to be on paper to be the best team. It's just we have to wait and see. And the only reason why I have the Seattle Storm at number one is because, one, they won last year. Two, you have, in my opinion, the best player in WNBA, and that's Sabrina. Oh no, Sabrina. That's Breonna Stewart. And you have Sue Bird. You did lose Natasha Howard, but you still, like I said, you and Natasha Howard was the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. But you still have the best player in the league, which is Breonna Stewart. I mean, and you still have Jewel Lloyd. You still have Jordan Canada. Yeah, I think I would have to see them get dethroned. And, of course, you still have Sue Bird. Even though she's older in years, you still have that. You have Candace Dupree. You have Mercedes Russell. She'll miss the start of the season, but she will come back before the playoffs. And you have Ezzie McBeggar. On paper, of course, this team is not better than the Aces, but you have the best player. You have the LeBron James. You have the best player in the league, in my opinion, in Breonna Stewart. And that's why I have the Seattle Storm at number one. So, again, I have New York Liberty at number 10, Atlanta Dream at number 9, Connecticut Sun at number 8, Minnesota Lynx at number 7, LA Sparks at number 6, Phoenix Mercury at number 5, Chicago Sky at number 4, Washington Mystics at number 3, Las Vegas Aces at number 2, and Seattle Storm at number 1. Let me know who you guys have as your top 5, top 10 going into the WNBA season. Of course, this like I said, this is a very interesting WNBA season. A lot of the players that opted out last year will be coming back, so they got to get integrated back into the team. And a lot of people forget there was a lot of really good players that opted out, like really good players, either due to medical reasons or they just didn't want to play in the bubble. Especially when we talk about teams like the Mystics or like Phoenix or like the Connecticut Sun. There was a lot of players that opt out, and a lot of really good players. Not to mention you have Dallas Wings, who had three of the top 5 picks, and see how those rookies do. They could have been top 10 in my opinion. They could have been at the 10 spot, but I do like the veteranship of Natasha Howard and Sabrina Tedesco, and that's kind of why I put them over the Wings. However, again, the Wings have 3 of the top 5 picks in the WNBA or in the last WNBA draft. So this is an interesting season, and I'm interested to see how they do, and I'm interested to see who will reign supreme and rise up to the top. Because there's always one team that you don't expect to be that good, and they turn out to be like they were really good. And there's always a team that will shock you. I don't know if the winner will shock you, but there's always a team that will shock you that either is better than they're supposed to be or worse than they're supposed to be. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm excited for the season.